friends. This is Barb Gully from Barb's Tea Service, and we're back in the studio, courtesy On TV Studio.
Here we are.
And Chris, hi.
Hi, fancy meeting you here.
Yes, I'm here as always with studio engineer, co-host and arm candy, Chris Gully.
Yep.
And this is our 33rd.
Yeah.
Our 33rd.
You're starting to have to do math.
I am. This is in the studio.
Yes,
We've
right.
done a few remotes, but
Yep.
this is in our studio.
Right.
And we'll be coming on an anniversary pretty soon.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is it coming up on a year?
Yeah.
We
almost.
took that lesson from Joe and started us off.
And the rest, they say, is history.
Wow.
Okay. So speaking of history,
Yes.
we were out for a little bit once again.
Yep.
We took a short sojourn south
Yes.
to Ohio,
Ohio.
Cleveland.
You know, it's starting to become kind of my favorite spots where we go there. No, seriously.
Yeah.
It's on the campus of Case Western University,
Yes.
and it's really you got to go.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right. We are making plans already because we've been there a few times.
Right.
And this was our return. And this time, we also took a little side trip to another presidential home,
Yes,
Rutherford B. Hayes.
that's a mouthful.
Did you ever think we'd get there?
You know, no, I never ever thought we'd get there. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know.
Yeah.
So when we were out for a little bit last week, we also had a great
Yep.
surprise, or
Yeah.
I guess treat is
Oh,
the better
yeah,
way
yeah,
to say
yeah.
it. We got new recliners.
Overdue.
Oh, long overdue, long overdue. So when we came back from our long trip, it was
Yeah.
really nice to be
Yeah.
in these
Enveloped in comfort.
in comfort.
Yes.
Slightly obnoxious, but very comfortable.
Yeah. You know what? Yes, that's true. It's yeah. Anyway.
Yes. So it's also perfect for resting up and binge watching TV.
Yes. Oh, and we've been doing that, haven't we?
Oh, we sure have. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So
Okay.
what are we going to talk about? Because we've got a lot to cover
Come on.
in our 30 minutes.
Get to it.
Okay. So, of course, we're going to talk about Rutherford B. Hayes.
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk about his home and family.
And he's also tea adjacent.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah. Liked tea.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. All right. And then we're going to do an early review of the new Netflix lifestyle series featuring the Duchess of Sussex.
Okay, be careful. Use your powers for good.
Oh, yes. Always. Always. And then we're going to talk about there's a special holiday today.
Yes, they're kind of. It's maybe not a big U.S. thing, but
No.
yeah.
No. But also, there is a new podcast out. We've got some competition.
Yes.
And
Related to that holiday, yes.
related to the holiday.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And then if we have time, we'll talk about the lazy boy debate
Okay.
on recliners. We might have to save that for the next podcast.
Okay. All right.
It's about as compelling as With Love.
Consider
Okay.
yourself warned.
Okay. But first, tea.
Oh, here we go. Yummy.
Okay.
There we go.
So today, actually, we're trying out President Hayes tea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is from the gift shop. I bought it at the gift shop.
Amazing that we went to the gift shop. It's like that's never happened.
No, and this is the tea.
Okay.
I'm going to just show it here.
Right. Okay.
And it is black tea with natural cream flavor.
Okay.
So would you like to try
Give it a whirl. There we go.
And I am drinking this in my Rutherford B. Hayes mug.
As one does.
Of course.
Well, that's surprisingly good. You know, this is a gift shop tea.
Right.
You know, sometimes they work. So this is it's a black tea. You mentioned there's a cream or creme
Yes,
flavoring.
yes.
I would say it's kind of it has a nuttiness, which is not unpleasant
Right.
with this.
I almost am picking up some vanilla.
Yeah, I get that too. Yeah,
So giving it
yeah.
a creamy taste.
yeah. It's actually not bad.
It isn't
Just
bad.
like Rutherford himself.
Not that bad.
All right.
And also, there was another another tea that I purchased.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy's Lemonade.
Oh, there's a story.
Oh, there is. So this is the First Lady.
Right.
This was Rutherford B. Hayes' wife, Lucy.
Okay.
And during the time that she was in the White House, and even when they entertained at home, they weren't big on serving alcohol.
Right.
So they kind of took that away from the White House menus.
Yeah.
Reporter coined her Lucy Lemonade.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
All right.
Well, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So this tea was made in her honor.
Yep.
And I tried it the other night.
Right.
And it's kind of nice in the evening to have an herbal tea.
Right.
And this is, when I opened it up, it was really like looking at potpourri.
Uh-huh.
It's got apple bits and pineapple and lemon, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, right.
So so kudos to them. And I will say, this isn't so contrived.
Yeah.
Because they both like tea.
Yeah, yes.
So
Yeah. Right.
it's not
It was not a stretch.
It wasn't a stretch.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So I mentioned that I purchased this in the Rutherford B. Hayes home that we visited.
Right.
And just a reminder,
Yep.
this is our 4th presidential home visit this year.
Did we mention this in Fremont, Ohio? This home.
It is in Fremont,
which
Ohio.
is it's kind of halfway between Cleveland and Toledo.
Right.
Off the toll road.
Exactly. And this is our 4th this year. And earlier this year, my goal, I had stated in our podcast, was to visit 2 presidential homes for the whole year.
You have overperformed.
I know. This is so exciting.
It is.
So this is our 4th, and this month isn't, the 3rd month of 2025 isn't even over yet.
We weren't even trying.
No. So I'm excited.
All right.
So this is this was the 19th president. This is our 12th individual presidential home visit.
Very good.
And we went with our good friends and fellow history buffs.
Yep.
Pam and Quint.
Yep.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, this isn't the first Ohio presidential home that we went with. Pam and Quint.
It was last year, right?
Last year,
okay.
We went to Harding's home.
Right.
Warren G. Harding.
Yep.
In Marion, Ohio.
Yep.
And it was about this time last year. It was in April.
Right.
And we gathered a group of family and friends for the solar eclipse.
April 8th.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yep.
And do you remember the day we saw Warren Harding's home?
Was the day before or day after? I can't remember. Okay. I wasn't paying attention, I guess.
You were so quick on the eclipse date.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is kind of interesting because, I mean, how many times do you say, I've been to a presidential home with friends in Ohio?
I don't. I think people normally don't see it at all. Okay.
Now we have 2.
All right.
Okay.
Very good.
So this home is, again, you mentioned it's in Fremont.
Right.
And this was built by Sardis Burchard.
Okay.
He was the uncle and guardian of Rutherford B. Hayes.
Yes. Okay. There's a story.
Yes, kind of sad.
Yeah.
Hayes's father died before he was even born.
Okay.
Just a few months before he was born. So his uncle kind of took on the role of the father figure.
Right.
It was his mother's brother.
Right.
And he built this home between 1859 and 1863 to share with, it's a summer home he wanted to share with his nephew, Rutherford, and his family.
Right.
So that was kind of nice. And by all accounts, Rutherford really loved this house.
It's a very nice grounds. I think, if I remember it was a working farm, 120 acres. Currently, it's sitting on something a lot less than that, 28 acres or less.
Right.
And it's they got nice old mature trees. The day that we were there was not maybe the best we've ever encountered. Well, it's Midwest winter, but you really got a sense it was a very peaceful place and very nice to walk around. I'm sure that was.
And that's what they did. They loved walking around. Did you say they took in 6 miles a day?
That was They one of the historical the placards that you see in these homes. It mentioned that he and his wife would endeavor to do 6 miles a day, walkabout.
And what a lovely place to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he loved this house, 2 stories, 8 bedrooms at the time.
Right.
But he really liked the veranda.
A veranda lover.
Yes.
Okay.
And he wrote in his diary, mind you,
Yes.
that the best part of the house is the veranda. But I would enlarge it.
Yep.
I want a veranda with a house.
Those are goals.
He does. Yeah. So I guess he really wanted to ensure his veranda rights.
Oh, man. Well, you trotted that out again, didn't you?
I did.
All right.
That pithy comment is credited to Ed because for some reason last summer we were talking about porches and verandas.
Yes, there you
go. Okay, moving on.
All right.
So he planned over the next 20 years different additions, and he put in a whole new parlor, called it the large parlor, to entertain guests and their family. And then he had this library that housed his collection of 12,000 books.
Yep. Now, this was post-presidential, after he was president.
It was a little
during,
back and forth.
Right, okay. Mm-hmm. But that's where he retired, too.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
Okay.
And so it is. And, in fact, Lucy died just a year or two short of the final edition.
Yeah, right.
So, but you're right. This was the retirement home.
Right.
So, with this, as we talked about, it was this kind of cold and blustery day.
Right.
But we were in the parking lot, went to the said veranda.
Right.
And we were welcomed warmly.
Yes.
by the tour guide, and she took us in. We go into this grand lobby.
Right.
And you look up and you see these high ceilings, beautiful. They're all decorated with wallpaper, etc. And then there's that 4-story staircase.
Right.
Incredible. A little dizzying.
Yeah, they called it the lantern.
Yes, that's right.
It was this, if you think, kind of the Gilded Age style of home and it had kind of this spire roof kind of in the middle of it, and it had this staircase surrounding it, and the purpose of it was to let in as much light as you could, because this is before electricity.
Right.
Now it's totally electrified now, but at the time it was all gas lit.
And they had those gasoliers.
Gasoliers, yes.
The chandeliers.
Yeah.
So, yes, and it did.
Right.
It was kind of a cloudy day, but it was still had some good natural light.
Right.
And then, as I mentioned, they had the ceilings have the wallpaper, the walls have the wallpaper. It's restored to the time of the Hayes. A lot of that isn't original.
Right. Well, and this one, if I remember correctly, had actually a lot of the original furnishings because it was kept in the family.
Correct.
The last descendants moved out in the 60s.
Right.
So which is not that long ago.
No.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
So they had a lot. They did retain a lot of the furniture, which is really neat.
Right.
And in fact, in the master bedroom, or I should say primary bedroom.
Right.
That was kind of a modern concept design.
Right.
Because it's on the first floor, en suite. But to your point about having the furnishings, two things really struck me in that bedroom.
Right.
The bed is so small.
It's at best a full size, and we're rather large these days.
Right.
in many respects. Back then, I think he was maybe 5'8", and probably 130, 140 pounds,
sure.
And his wife was probably tiny as well. So they're probably well accommodated in that particular bed.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
But it is a little, to modern sensibilities,
right.
It looks small.
Yeah.
It's not a king size
bed
or anything. No. But the other thing that was really quite lovely in that room was the bedding.
Yes.
That's the original.
Right.
It was a gift from Lucy's mother.
Yep.
This beautiful kind of cream
right.
satin bedspread and pillows with embroidery on it.
Yes, yeah. So this is a couple hundred years old. Yeah. So
just really nice.
Yep.
So another interesting feature about the ensuite was this: they have an attached bedroom,
right,
which turned out to be sort of a man cave.
Yeah, bathroom.
Man cave.
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
Did I not mention that?
Yeah.
Yes, man cave bathroom.
Right.
So it has the bath, it has the commode, and sink, and also a door that goes to the outside.
Yes. And one needs the escape hatch.
Yes.
Also, it had a rack for all of your top hats that you, of course, need.
Right.
Which I looked at this like, why don't I have?
And your bow ties.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what you need. I think you'd like that escape door, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, my favorite room was the dining room.
Yes.
And they had this beautiful large wood table.
Right. Original,
right. And they could keep putting leaves in.
Right.
It can accommodate quite a lot.
Yeah, right. 35 people. I think she said.
Right.
It was set up for like 20 something. Anyway.
So it's beautiful. And then over the mantle, they had some of the White House china.
Yes. Okay.
On display.
There's a rather funny story.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, Lucy and Rutherford, they liked being outside.
Right.
She was a big nature lover. She loved animals.
They had a kind of a menagerie.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And her theme for the china were animal prints.
Right.
So
beavers and elk and wolves and so
right.
it is really well done.
It is. Yeah. They're quite attractive. But our tour guide mentioned that a lot of White House guests weren't as enamored with these plates.
It was out there.
Because as they were eating and working their way through their food, these eyes of the animals.
A face would emerge looking back at you.
It didn't go too well. But our tour guide also mentioned that in December they have holiday dinners.
Yes.
Where you can come.
Right.
And they serve a multi-course meal.
Yep. At that table.
Yeah,
in the dining room.
And then they follow this proper etiquette as you enter into the dining room. They call your name.
You are so into this.
So I think, that would be something really fun to do.
It would be.
Anyway, just a few words about Rutherford B. Hayes.
Yes. Okay.
So his journey to the presidency.
Uh-huh.
A lot of admirable accomplishments.
He was an accomplished gentleman.
He really was. So he went to Harvard Law School.
Right.
He was a lawyer.
Right.
He was a general in the Civil War.
Union general, yep. And governor.
Governor, congressman.
Yeah.
And then he became president.
Right.
And his election was kind of clouded with a little bit of controversy.
Well, they had, and we were talking about this, some things never change. There was a thing about the Electoral College, and no candidate had enough, to had a majority. So they cut a deal, and the deal was that they gave Hayes enough electoral votes to become president in exchange for the agreement to withdraw federal troops from the South, which it was, occupied, post Civil War,
right?
And that pretty much stopped Reconstruction in its tracks at that point. So
looking back at that again in a modern lens, this was very controversial. But as you say, things don't ever change.
Right,
There's always these deals made in the smoke-filled room.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Another controversial event that happened involving federal troops with Hayes was the railway strike, 1877.
Yep.
And he sent in federal troops to stop the rioting and the picketing. And this was a rather tragic time for laborers because they'd been asked to take several pay cuts.
Oh, yeah.
And if you are a fan of the HBO series Gilded Age, you see this coming up, this railroad strike.
Right.
And George Russell,
who's the stand-in for Vanderbilt.
The guy who owned all these railroads. Well, he's got a kinder and gentler way to handle it than perhaps Vanderbilt did.
Right.
So we've got the soft focus version in the Gilded Age.
Right.
And how he negotiates. But, okay, so as you said, again, things are always a little bit suspect, and we got the hindsight of history. But anyway, let's turn to Lucy. Lemonade Lucy.
Here we go.
She was an accomplished woman in her own right.
Right.
She was the first lady to be referred to as First Lady.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, officially.
Yeah.
So might have been called a few before, but this stuck.
Right.
And also, she was the first Lady to graduate from college.
Yes, and that was interesting too.
It was. It really was. So again, we like the fact that the Hayes enjoyed tea. Rutherford even kept records of some of his teas.
Yes.
And who he had them with.
Nice.
Maybe you should start doing that.
Well, my tea is a different style of tea. It's a tea time.
Oh, there you go. You keep a record of that tea time, don't you?
Well, I do, yes.
All right.
Okay.
So we hope to be back. We really enjoyed that.
Yes.
And we are hoping maybe we'll be back in December.
Yes, for that dinner.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay. So moving right along, it's a lot of heavy history.
Yes.
Maybe we need a little fluff.
Okay. A little amuse-bouche now.
Yes, exactly. So we wanted to weigh in on the new Netflix lifestyle series With Love, Meghan, featuring Meghan Markle. And I'm still waiting for something riveting to happen. And
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's trying to find its legs, and we're being charitable.
It is trying to find its legs. You're right.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep the faith.
Okay.
We've watched 2 episodes.
Right.
I'm gonna watch the other 6.
Right.
And
I may find something else to do.
You maybe doing your tea time journal.
Well, yeah, okay.
So I found myself in these first 2 episodes focusing on things that probably were not meant to be focused on so much. Incredulously.
Yeah.
She's wearing white,
yeah,
off-white cream,
yeah,
in the kitchen in the first episode while she's cooking.
Yeah. Yep. And how many takes did that take?
Oh, you know what? I can't wear off-white or white just eating something without it getting spilled on. So here she's cooking and preparing. Also looking for a bigger payoff than her blowing up balloons to place on a decorative arch for a children's party.
Right.
Although she does offer this tidbit. You don't have to blow everything up individually.
Yeah.
You can use an automatic inflator. Did you take notes on that one?
No, I think my mind was wandering probably.
So anyway, in the same episode where they're doing the children's party, this is where Mindy Kaling of The Office and the Mindy Project, she comes on.
Yep.
And while they're cutting up fruit for this children's party, they talk about their respective childhood.
Yes.
And Meghan talks about how she was a latchkey kid.
Yes.
And she was watching game shows and eating fast food.
Nice. Okay.
And Mindy says, "Oh, well, what were some of your favorite fast foods?" And she mentions Jack in the Box.
Yeah, that was out here for a while.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, but So Mindy says,
"Yes.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loved it." Did you know that?
Well, I didn't want to know that.
Now you do.
Now I do.
I have to admit, it did cross my mind.
Okay.
Maybe.
Wow.
But anyway.
Okay. You need something to do.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So in this, I think there's a lot of negativity about Meghan correcting her guest and saying, "I'm not Markle anymore. I'm Sussex."
Yes.
But I think, let's go back to fast food.
Yeah.
I think they could mine some gold here.
Yes.
Something more compelling.
Okay.
Have the Duchess go through a drive-through or go to McDonald's and try the app, because I'm still struggling with my McDonald's app.
Or how about keeping with the royals? How about Burger King?
Oh, I said gold, platinum.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Burger King.
Oh,
that's brilliant.
We're so silly.
Oh, we are.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyway, it's easy, I think, to do a little snarkle on the Markle.
Yeah.
I, for one, have done well by the royals, and I'm a royal-phile.
Yep.
And actually, we were both in London just the week before they got married.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
And we were caught up in all that party atmosphere.
It was a buzz.
It was, and I brought home a lot of souvenirs and commemorative items. Actually, you know what? We were with Pam and Clint then.
Right, yeah.
So it's not just Ohio.
We can't get rid of these people.
International. That's okay. Just not Ohio. Anyway, what was fun about that was when I came back, I was doing a tea at the hotel in Birmingham.
Right.
And in honor of the wedding.
Yep.
And they asked me if I would represent them and be on local Fox News.
That's right.
The morning of the wedding.
And you were on it.
I was so on it. It was really exciting, and it was a lot of fun. And I thought it brought a lot of people to to enjoy this. And
you were on there with Charlie
Langton, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was all about the tea etiquette.
Oh yeah.
And the pinky.
Yeah.
So it's still out there. I might have to repost that again. But anyway, back to Meghan.
Right.
I think okay, so we're getting getting close to the wind down time, but just a note, if I think some positive things.
Yeah.
Even though the children's party was a little out there and unattended, it was a afternoon tea party. Was the theme. That's kind of cool. She sells tea on her website. I'm on the waiting list for that when that comes on. But also in the cons, I just think they need to find their mission.
Yes.
They're all over the place, and she says their goal isn't perfection, it's joy.
Okay.
But I get that. Martha Stewart was perfection.
Right.
And if not attainable, at least aspirational.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what is With Love?
Yeah.
Is it a talk show?
Yeah.
Is it a cooking show?
Yeah.
Is it an infomercial?
Yeah.
I'm in for the joy ride.
Okay.
I just hope it doesn't go off the rails.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right.
So anyway.
Right.
We have how many more minutes?
I'll give you 4.
Okay. So I want to just, since we're on the topic of royals, I want to mention that there's a new podcaster in the world.
Yes, we just heard about this.
Yes. So first, today is Commonwealth Day.
It is, yes.
March 10th is Commonwealth Day.
Not celebrated by the U.S.
Not celebrated by the U.S. That's correct.
Yeah.
So this is something that Britain has celebrated since the end of the 1894 or so with Queen Victoria. It was then called Empire Day.
Right.
1958, it changed its title to Commonwealth Day, and they celebrate all the countries and regions. And to celebrate this, King Charles came out with his first podcast.
Everybody has a podcast.
Everybody does. And his is called The King's Music Room.
Okay.
And he thought this would be a great way to honor the Commonwealth Day.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a wide variety of musical taste, and he's sharing this on his podcast. And he says that the music collection that he's sharing is songs that have brought him joy.
Oh, there's that joy again. Oh no.
Everybody's bringing joy.
Yeah.
Darn it, we got to get more joy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, all right, let's put that on the notes. More joy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, he's starting this. It's from his in the palace. He's recording these, and I don't know. Could you take a guess at any of the songs that he might share?
I have no idea. But I think you're going to tell me.
Well, couple, because I didn't recognize many of these, but one, Beyonce.
Oh, jeez.
Crazy in Love.
Okay, it's time for Regicide. Sorry.
For the podcast.
Yeah, no,
maybe a kibosh.
Yeah.
But also Diana Ross, Upside Down.
Oh, okay.
If you remember those from the disco
years.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so he's from that era.
Yes.
Probably actually met her. Who knows?
Right. And you know what? And he said in his day, and we're not that far behind him, you couldn't hear that song and not dance.
Yeah.
And I agree
on
that. Okay.
I could not dance anyway.
Okay, so I think we are running out of time.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
All
okay.
right.
So we are going to save the bulk, if you will, on our new recliners for the next podcast.
Our public can't wait.
I know.
Or maybe they can. I don't know.
This is going to be with much more love from Barb's Tea Service.
That's actually something that gives me joy, just putting that out there.
What's that?
Our new lazy boys.
They do. Yeah. They do. And this was in our blog this week. Actually, Rutherford Behays.
Right.
Our recliners.
Yes.
And our early review of With Love, Meghan. All in our last 3 blogs. So that's where you can find it.
All right.
And
all right.
I think I hear that sound. Okay. Well, it's telling us to wrap up. I want to thank everybody for listening on TV Studios, for allowing us to be here. My co-host,
there we are,
Arm Candy, Chris. And as we like to say at Barb's Tea Service, please stay tuned.
Very good. Out.